Let me ask you something personal, but important. Have you ever walked into a room, or leaned in to give someone a hug, and caught a faint smell that made you wonder where it came from? Maybe you brushed it off, thinking it was the room, the laundry, or maybe even the food cooking nearby. But what if I told you, sometimes it's linked to simple bathroom habits we don't think twice about? Here's the truth: many senior women, without even realizing it, develop little routines in the bathroom that end up working against them. And the sad part is, these are habits that feel normal, harmless, or even hygienic. Yet doctors are now warning that they can actually be the very reason why some older women struggle with unexpected body odors. Now, I know this is not an easy subject to talk about. Nobody wants to feel embarrassed about the way they smell. It can chip away at your confidence, it can make social interactions uncomfortable, and it can even make you avoid being close to the people you love. But listen carefully, it's not your fault. As our bodies age, things change. Our skin changes, our metabolism changes, even how we process water and food changes. And because of this, bathroom habits that worked perfectly fine in your younger years may now be causing problems you never expected. That's why this video is so important. Today, I'm going to walk you through 8 specific bathroom habits that doctors say are silently making older women smell worse than they should. And here's the kicker: most women don't even realize they're doing them. By the time you reach the end of this video, you'll not only know what these habits are, but you'll also understand how to fix them, so you can feel fresh, confident, and in control again. So before we dive in, let me ask you something. Be honest with yourself. Have you, or maybe someone you care about, ever struggled with unexpected odor issues despite keeping good hygiene? If your answer is yes, type "I'm here" in the comments. Because you're not alone, and this is a safe place to share, learn, and support one another. And while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our community at Elderly Wisdom Tips. This channel is dedicated to helping seniors like you live with dignity, comfort, and health. Let's start with the very first habit, and it's one almost every older woman is guilty of at some point: not drinking enough water. Now, I want you to picture this for a moment. Imagine an older woman, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's you, sitting in her favorite chair. She pours herself a glass of water but hesitates to drink it. Why? Because she doesn't want to keep running to the bathroom. She's worried about the inconvenience. She's worried about the accidents. And so, she quietly decides, less water, fewer trips. It seems like a smart trade-off, doesn't it? But here's the hidden truth: when you drink less water, your urine becomes darker and more concentrated. And concentrated urine has a much stronger smell. That smell doesn't just stay in the bathroom, it lingers. It can seep into clothing, into undergarments, and even into the air around you. Doctors say this is one of the most common mistakes senior women make. They think, if I don't drink much, there's less to worry about. But the body doesn't work that way. Instead, drinking too little actually makes odor more noticeable. And over time, it can even put extra strain on your kidneys and bladder, making other problems worse. Now, I know what you might be thinking. But I don't like the taste of plain water. Or maybe you've tried, but you simply forget to drink enough. That's completely understandable. And here's the good news: you don't need to gulp down huge bottles. Small sips throughout the day are enough to keep you hydrated. You can flavor your water with lemon or cucumber slices, or enjoy herbal teas that not only hydrate but also soothe your body. Even water-rich foods like melons, oranges, and cucumbers count toward your daily hydration. It's not about forcing yourself, it's about making hydration easy, gentle, and consistent. A few extra sips every hour can keep your body balanced, your urine diluted, and those strong smells at bay. So, the next time you think about skipping that glass of water to avoid a bathroom trip, remember this: the short-term relief isn't worth the long-term discomfort. Your body needs that water more than you realize. But hydration isn't the only issue. Even if you're drinking enough, how often you empty your bladder plays a major role in how fresh you smell. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Holding urine for too long. Think about how easy it is to do this. Maybe you're lying in bed at night, feeling warm and cozy under the blanket, and you feel the urge to go. You think to yourself, I'll wait a little longer. I don't want to get up right now. Or perhaps you're out in public, and you don't trust the cleanliness of the restroom, so you say, I'll just hold it until I get home. We've all been there. It feels harmless. After all, what's the worst that can happen if you wait another hour? Here's the truth, when you hold your urine for too long, it doesn't just sit there quietly. The bladder becomes a little storage tank for bacteria. The longer the urine stays inside, the more time bacteria have to multiply. And bacteria are what lead to stronger odors, infections, and that uncomfortable burning feeling so many women are familiar with. Doctors warn that this habit, repeated over time, doesn't just increase the chance of odors and urinary tract infections, it can also weaken the bladder muscles themselves. That means over the years, your bladder may not empty as strongly as it used to. Some women even experience leaks or dribbles because their bladder has been stretched and stressed too many times. The big misconception here is that as long as I go eventually, I'll be fine. But the body doesn't see it that way. Every delay puts extra stress on the bladder, and the odor becomes stronger because stagnant urine is always more concentrated and more likely to linger. So what's the solution? It's simple, but it requires a shift in thinking. Go as soon as you feel the urge. Don't delay. Your comfort and dignity are worth more than a few extra minutes of convenience. If you struggle with frequent urges at night, consider a bedside commode or a portable toilet chair near your bed. That way, you don't have to walk across the house in the dark, and you can still keep your bladder healthy without sacrificing rest. Caring for yourself in this way isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. It's about giving your body what it needs to stay clean, fresh, and strong. And speaking of bladder health, there's another surprising factor that most women never think about: what you wear afterward. Believe it or not, the fabric you choose for your underwear can play a huge role in whether you smell fresh or not. Let's talk about that next. Picture this: a beautiful pair of satin panties, maybe with lace trimming, or those stretchy synthetic fabrics that promise comfort and style. They look nice, they feel smooth, and for many women, they seem like a little luxury. But here's the catch: those fancy fabrics often trap heat and moisture. And when heat and moisture are trapped, bacteria and yeast find the perfect environment to grow. The result? More sweat, more odor, and in some cases, even infections that just won't seem to go away. Now, here's where many women get it wrong. The common belief is that underwear is underwear, as long as it's clean, it's fine. But the truth is, the fabric matters. Your skin needs to breathe, especially in areas that naturally stay warm and moist. Synthetic fabrics, no matter how expensive or stylish, don't allow enough airflow. That lack of breathability is what sets the stage for odor. So what's the better choice? Cotton. Simple, plain, breathable cotton. Cotton absorbs moisture and lets the air flow, keeping you cooler and fresher throughout the day. And if you want even more support, moisture-wicking fabrics, those designed to pull sweat away from the skin, can also help. But the most important thing is this: change them daily. Even the best pair of underwear won't protect you if it's worn for too long. It may not sound glamorous, but it's practical. And practical is what keeps you smelling clean, confident, and comfortable. Remember, sometimes it's the little adjustments, like choosing the right fabric, that make the biggest difference in how fresh you feel. And now that we've talked about what you wear, let's look at what you do right after using the bathroom. Because believe it or not, wiping habits, something so simple, something you've done your whole life, can actually make or break your hygiene. It might sound too simple to get wrong, but the truth is, the way you wipe can have a huge impact on how fresh you smell. Here's the scenario: many women, especially as they get older and mobility becomes more difficult, start wiping in the wrong direction. Instead of wiping front to back, they wipe back to front. It feels quicker, it feels easier, but what actually happens is that bacteria from the back are dragged forward to the most delicate areas. Why does this matter? Because those bacteria don't just sit quietly. They grow. They spread. And very often, they lead to urinary tract infections. They can also cause lingering odors that don't seem to go away no matter how often you shower or how much perfume you use. It's like an invisible problem that keeps returning, simply because of one small habit. Now, here's the big misconception: some people think wiping direction doesn't matter. They say, as long as I'm clean, it's fine. But doctors are very clear: direction matters a lot. Wiping back to front is one of the easiest ways to transfer germs where they don't belong, and it's something that only gets riskier as your immune system slows down with age. So what's the solution? Always wipe front to back. Every single time. If you struggle with flexibility or mobility, unscented wipes can make the process easier and gentler on the skin. Just make sure they're free from strong perfumes or harsh chemicals, because those can cause irritation and make odor problems worse in the long run. It may feel like a small detail, but little details add up. The right wiping habit keeps bacteria away, reduces the risk of infections, and helps you stay fresh without the frustration of constant odors. And speaking of wipes, let's clear up another common mistake. Because while wipes can help, many women fall into the trap of using too many scented products, thinking they're covering up odors. But here's the truth: those scented sprays, soaps, and powders often make things worse. And that's exactly what we need to talk about next. Perfumed soaps, sprays, powders, deodorizing wipes, they're advertised as quick fixes, promising freshness and confidence. And it's easy to believe that the more fragrance you add, the cleaner you'll feel. But here's the surprising truth: using too many scented products can actually make the problem worse. Let me explain why. The skin, especially in sensitive areas, has its own natural balance. It's called the pH balance, and it plays a crucial role in keeping good bacteria alive while keeping harmful bacteria under control. When you start adding harsh perfumes, alcohols, and chemicals into the mix, that balance is disrupted. Instead of making you fresher, it often leaves you drier, more irritated, and ironically, more prone to odors than before. Think about it like this: covering a bad smell with perfume doesn't remove the problem, it just hides it temporarily. And once the fragrance wears off, the odor often comes back stronger. That's why so many women find themselves using more and more products, without ever solving the root cause. The big misconception is this: more fragrance means more freshness. But that's not true. Real freshness doesn't come from masking odors, it comes from preventing them in the first place. And that starts with gentle care. So what's the better solution? Stick to mild, fragrance-free cleansers. In fact, warm water alone is often enough for daily cleaning. You don't need strong chemicals or heavy perfumes to stay fresh, you need simplicity. Because simplicity keeps your body's natural defenses intact, and that's what actually protects you from odor over time. Now, this might sound surprising, but even when you choose natural products, there's another mistake many women make. They think that more washing means more cleanliness. But the truth is, cleaning too often can be just as damaging as not cleaning enough. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover next. Many women believe that the cleaner you are, the fresher you'll smell. Some even go as far as scrubbing multiple times a day or using douches, sprays, or harsh soaps to make sure everything is spotless. But here's the hidden truth doctors warn about: overwashing doesn't make you cleaner, it actually makes odor problems worse. You see, your body is designed with its own natural protection system. There are healthy bacteria that live on your skin and in your intimate areas, and their job is to fight off the bad bacteria that cause infections and smells. When you wash too much or use harsh products like douches, you strip away those good bacteria. And once they're gone, the bad bacteria take over, leaving you more vulnerable to irritation, dryness, and yes, stronger odors. It's an easy trap to fall into, because society has always linked cleanliness with scrubbing and strong scents. Many women grow up thinking that if you smell fresh after a shower, then showering more must equal more freshness. But the body doesn't work that way. In fact, the misconception that more scrubbing equals more cleanliness is one of the biggest reasons women struggle with recurring odor issues. The real key is moderation. You don't need to wash multiple times a day. Once daily, with gentle soap and warm water, is more than enough. And here's something important: avoid douching entirely. Douching not only removes the good bacteria, but it also pushes harmful bacteria further inside, creating even bigger problems down the line. Remember, true freshness doesn't come from scrubbing harder or more often. It comes from respecting your body's natural balance and letting it do its job. Now, we've talked a lot about washing on the outside. But staying fresh isn't just about what you do in the bathroom, it's also about what happens inside your body. And one of the most overlooked factors, especially for older women, is constipation. Let's talk about that next. Your bowel habits can have a direct impact on the way your body smells, and yet it's often ignored or brushed aside as just a little discomfort. Think about it: when stool sits in the intestines for too long, it doesn't just make you feel bloated and uncomfortable. It also causes waste to back up, which can lead to leakage, straining, or even tiny bits of residue that linger no matter how careful you are in the bathroom. And over time, that buildup can lead to unwanted odors that no amount of perfume or soap can truly cover. Many women assume constipation is just a nuisance, something you put up with as part of aging. But the truth is, it's more than that. Persistent constipation doesn't just affect your digestion, it affects hygiene, confidence, and even your willingness to socialize. No one wants to live with that quiet worry of whether others might notice something before you do. The good news is, constipation can be managed with a few mindful changes. Adding more fiber to your meals, things like fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains, helps keep your system moving. Drinking enough water throughout the day is just as important, because without fluids, fiber can't do its job. And don't forget about movement. Even gentle activities like walking or stretching encourage your intestines to work the way they should. And here's a tip worth remembering: if constipation becomes a constant problem, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. Sometimes it's not just diet or lifestyle, sometimes it's a sign of a condition that needs attention. Getting help early not only protects your health but also keeps your confidence intact. So yes, managing constipation is about more than comfort, it's about staying fresh, feeling light, and avoiding those hidden odor issues that can sneak up on you. Now, speaking of hidden habits. Here's a habit that many people don't like to admit, but it happens more often than you'd think: reusing towels and underwear. Maybe you've done it yourself. You take a shower, dry off, and think, well, this towel still looks clean. I'll just use it again tomorrow. Or you grab the same pair of undergarments for another day because, at a glance, they seem fine. The problem is, looks can be deceiving. Just because fabric doesn't have a visible stain or an obvious smell doesn't mean it's actually clean. Towels and underwear absorb moisture every time you use them. That dampness creates the perfect environment for bacteria to grow. And once those bacteria multiply, they don't just stay in the fabric. They transfer right back onto your skin, your intimate areas, and your clothes. That's when odors begin to linger, even if you can't always smell them yourself. Many older women assume, if it looks okay, then it must be okay. But the truth is, smells often start microscopically. By the time you notice them, the bacteria have already been there for days, quietly building up. This is especially true with towels that don't dry completely between uses. Hanging them in a humid bathroom, for example, keeps them damp for hours, which only fuels that invisible growth. So what's the solution? It's simple but powerful. Change your underwear every single day, no matter what. And when it comes to towels, aim to wash them after 2 or 3 uses at most. If you've been sweating or if the towel stays damp for too long, even sooner is better. Having a small rotation of clean, soft towels makes it easier to stick to this routine. And trust me, your skin, and your confidence, will thank you for it. Think of it this way, clean fabrics don't just keep you fresh, they protect your health. They prevent irritation, reduce the risk of infections, and ensure that all the good hygiene habits you practice in the bathroom actually last throughout the day. So while it may feel like a small detail, fresh underwear and clean towels make a big difference in how you smell, how you feel, and even how others experience being around you. It's one of those little acts of self-care that carries so much power. And now that we've walked through all 8 of these bathroom habits, habits that many people overlook without realizing the impact they have, it's time to pause and reflect. Because hygiene isn't just about staying clean. It's about how these habits affect your sense of dignity, your emotional well-being, and the way you carry yourself every single day. Now, let's pause for a moment and acknowledge something important. For many women, especially in later years, dealing with odor issues can feel deeply embarrassing. You might feel frustrated, even defeated, thinking, why does this keep happening when I'm already doing my best to stay clean? That frustration is real, and so is the self-consciousness that often follows. But here's what I want you to remember, these challenges are not a reflection of failure, and they are certainly not a reason to feel shame. They are part of the natural changes that come with age, changes in hormones, skin, muscle tone, and even digestion. Every single woman experiences them in one way or another, even if no one talks about it openly. So if you've been struggling silently, you are far from alone. The good news is this, small, intentional changes can make a world of difference. Just adjusting the way you hydrate, how often you empty your bladder, the fabrics you wear, or the way you wash and care for your body, these little shifts can restore not only your physical comfort, but also your confidence. Because at the end of the day, feeling fresh isn't just about avoiding odor. It's about feeling dignified, feeling comfortable in your own skin, and moving through life with a sense of ease. Think of it as learning new ways to care for yourself, ways that honor the season of life you're in right now. Aging does not mean giving up freshness or comfort. It means adapting, listening to your body, and respecting its new rhythms. Every habit you improve becomes an act of self-love, a quiet but powerful statement that says, I deserve to feel good, no matter my age. So instead of seeing these habits as chores or burdens, reframe them as tools. Tools that protect your health, strengthen your confidence, and help you maintain the quality of life you deserve. You have the ability to take back control, one small change at a time. And in doing so, you reclaim something even more valuable than freshness, you reclaim your peace of mind. Let's quickly recap the 8 bathroom habits that doctors warn about. First, not drinking enough water, which leads to concentrated urine and stronger odors. Second, holding urine too long, which creates an environment for bacteria to grow. Third, wearing synthetic underwear that traps heat and moisture. Fourth, improper wiping techniques that spread bacteria instead of removing it. Fifth, overusing scented products, which often upset the natural balance instead of fixing the problem. Sixth, overwashing or using douches that strip away your body's natural protection. Seventh, ignoring constipation, which can directly affect hygiene and odor. And eighth, reusing towels or underwear, which allows bacteria to build up and return to your skin. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Did any of them sound familiar in your own daily routine? Or perhaps you've discovered your own simple hygiene tip that's helped you feel fresher and more confident. Go ahead and share it in the comments below. Your voice might be the very thing that encourages someone else watching this video. Remember, this is a safe and supportive space where women can learn from one another without shame or judgment. And if today's message helped you, I'd love you to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Tips. This channel is all about bringing you practical health and care advice designed especially for senior women and their families. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Your health and comfort matter, and so does your peace of mind. Stay fresh, stay confident, and most importantly, stay kind to yourself. I'll see you in the next video.